Well, good afternoon. Almost afternoon. It's 11:55 a.m. on the 8th of September. And Dottie and I are going for a hike. And we've been thinking about doing this for a long time. And I've made a big deal out of this in my head. But let me tell you why. And let me tell you where we're going. We're going for a hike along the lake here to see the dam. Why is that a big deal? Because you can't get to it. There's a road going to it. It's locked up. It's private property. You can't get near it. And the only way to see the dam, other than a tour they have a couple times a year, which I'm not going to be here for, is to hike here along about a mile to the end of the lake. And that's what we're going to do. And you'll probably be disappointed. It's like, okay, it's a little dam. What's the big deal? Well, it's a big deal to me. And it might be a pretty hike. Who knows? I was hesitant about Dottie. I'm not sure whether she's up for be a little over 2 mile trip, but we'll see. We'll see who holds up, me or Dottie. Place any bets in the comments. Who's going to be in better shape at the end, me or Dottie? Or will it be a draw? And I may cut out a lot of this if I don't think of anything in particular of interest to talk about. This may look familiar to you in a prior video where I hiked out along here to get shots of the old abandoned Eagle Nest Lodge, which is up here. We'll pass it from a distance here. This is longer, but probably easier because to get to the lodge I had to go through a lot of vegetation and marshland, which I don't think I'm going to have to do now. Come on, Dottie. Yeah, it's a girl. That's a good girl. Well, before you jump in the comments and say, Rob, clean your lens, where you're seeing little distortions, looks like a smudge on the lens. That's this particular lens for the GoPro called the max view lens, is prone to what they call lens flare. Here, and I'll prove it to you. Look, we'll take there, it's all clean, right? Well, you're still going to see some lens flare that look like smudges, so please don't tell me to clean my lens. Or tell me I just used the wrong kind of cloth to clean it. Please, if you don't like it, what can I say? But this lens, the trade-off is it's a wide view, and it's rock solid in terms of keeping the image stable. Gonna go down a little hill here towards the lake. I don't really know if the camera does it justice, but I'll tell you something. I really like the plants and the flowers out here. They're pretty. Kind of looking around to mark my position so I know where to get back on the trail from the beach here. I had a little trouble last time. Not a ton of people go down here. But I see at least a couple of people here. The weather is ideal. It's about 70, 72. Might get a little rain this afternoon, but we'll be back in plenty of time, to get in before the rain hits this afternoon. I see a guy wading out there in the water. Can't tell if he's maybe fishing or something. Go on, come on. If you can guess, that's me encouraging Dottie to keep going forward through there's a lot of underbrush, but we'll break out of this pretty soon and she'll be free. It's a little hard for her to get through some of here. I'll show you what I mean. There she is, trying to navigate through all the vegetation and stuff. It's a little easier for me than Dottie. Good girl, we're almost there. And look, they're birds, they're geese. Looks like Canadian geese. We're about to break free, Dottie. There we go. Hey. Look at all the, Dottie's alert to the birds. Come on. Go on out there. Go. Good girl. Come on. Hi. Did you happen to hike all the way to the dam?
No, we ain't quite there.
That's my destination. Since you can't drive there, I thought I'd try to hike.
Hey, puppy. Hi, Jupiter. How are you, huh? Hi, puppy.
That's Dottie.
Dottie. Hi, Dottie.
You're on my YouTube video, if you don't mind.
Say what?
You're on my YouTube video, if you don't mind. We're documenting our little hike to the dam.
Gotcha.
I was just saying how I don't think any of my subscribers will care much about the dam, but I do, because I spend the summers here and I care about everything here.
It's the time to go see it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, God, you're a sweet thing. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You accompany Daddy everywhere?
Pretty much. Here's a card for the YouTube channel if you're a YouTube watcher. Travels with Dottie.
Sometimes.
That's Dottie.
So where do you live?
I live on the road. I'm a nomad, and I'm here in the summers. If you look at, where Weathers RV Park is, you'll see a lone trailer out in the middle of the field next to it. That's me. And I'm here again for the whole summer in the same spot next year. I just love Eagle Nest.
Yeah, it's got its own appeal, doesn't it?
It does. The geese like it, don't they? Those Canadian geese love it here, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're pretty happy.
Any luck fishing? Well, I see you don't have any fish with you, but...
Well, we wouldn't have kept them anyway, but no. We usually fish the stream, and so we decided we would just see if we can find a way to catch some pike. So we hiked back there, that back corner, and we're fishing those canyon walls. He had a jerk bait and I had a spinner bait.
Uh-huh.
I don't know exactly what they bite, but I figured they would bite one of those.
Now the pike's considered an invasive species here, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to take it out, and if you get caught putting it back in, you're in trouble.
Somebody said that Parks and Wildlife messed that up. Accidentally loaded them in here.
Really? I didn't know that. I didn't.
It's probably just a rumor. Oh, God.
You know this character walking up on us here?
Yeah, but he's of ill repute.
He's ill repute, huh?
He's the kind of person that you really don't want to make an acquaintance with.
You're on camera, so don't swear. It's my YouTube channel.
Or is it PG?
It's G. I have a G-rated YouTube channel,
Oh,
a travel
okay.
channel
Well, darn
starring
well.
that dog.
Hello, pup.
That's Dottie.
Hi, Scotty.
Dottie with a D.
Dottie.
Dottie.
Hi, Dottie.
Well, we're going to continue our
right.
pilgrimage to the dam. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
You
Take
bet.
care.
Have fun.
Yep.
Hey, are you trying to make it all the way to the dam?
Yeah, yeah.
You may run into some trouble because once you get around that corner, it's rocks and it's pretty good grade.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I may go that far and turn around and come back. I'm not going to take any risks.
We're all on vacay, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
So I'd worry about her making it if it's like that.
That's the big concern. Hey,
See ya.
congratulations on your YouTube deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, so you heard it, that we may not be able to get all the way to the dam because of rocks and inclines and stuff, but no one will say we didn't try. And I'm certainly not going to put my dog Dottie at risk, or me, so we'll go as far as we can go. And at least we'll get some exercise, right, Dottie? And if you can see off in the distance there's the abandoned Eagle Nest Lodge. And I can see it looks like an abandoned cabin up there on the left. I don't know quite what that is. Do you know, Dottie? In that prior video, I got all the way to this point here and turned around. So it'll be a little while here before I get past where I've been before. Look, we got some water here, Dottie. That's spring water, I think, because it's coming down from the spring into the lake. So that's probably pretty good water if you're thirsty. She's not. I've had no luck with, now she's licking a little bit. No luck with my, what amounts to game cameras that I have looking out at the lake all night, because I hear that the wildlife's not coming down to the lake this year because there's so much moisture in the mountains and the hills this year, so they don't need to come down to the lake for water. which is a little confounding because the lake is so low. You can see the lake level has certainly been up not too long ago where I'm standing, and look how far down it is. And given the amount of precipitation we've had this summer here, I'm going to guess the problem is them having a high rate of flow out the dam for probably good reason, I'm going to guess. That's one thing I learned when I worked a summer as a camp host with the Army Corps of Engineers in North Idaho. We used to have our meetings at one of the big dams in offices, and we got to learn a lot about the complex things that go into operating not only a dam but a series of dams, and lake levels and flows and things of that nature. So I'm going to guess they know what they're doing. What we were alluding to back there about the pike, I think it's northern pike, that got introduced, not naturally at all, to the lake here, and has become a problem because there's such a large predator. They have a rule that if you catch one, you got to either take it with you or throw it up in the bank. It's illegal to return it to the water once you've caught it. And I think there's some kind of fine associated with doing that. Come on, Dottie. I heard $1,000, but that seems pretty outrageous. So if you're local and you know that there's definitely a fine, you can tell us in the comments if that's true and what the fine is. Everyone's got a fish story, right? Well, I'm going to tell you my fish story. I started fishing. I was about as young when I could hold a pole. My father figured I could fish, so that started pretty young on Lake Cayuga. It's one of the Finger Lakes in New York State. My great uncle had a lake house there. We used to go up from Rochester quite frequently in the summers. But that's not the location of my fish story. Later in life, my dad got married, I think 1970, 1971, and she had a lake house on beautiful Lake Winnipesaukee in northern New Hampshire, in a little town called Meredith. You might recognize the lake from the movie with Richard Dreyfuss called What About Bob? There's another movie with Henry Fonda and his daughter on Golden Pond. And while most of that was shot near there in a different lake called Squam Lake, a lot of the aerial shots were of Lake Winnipesaukee. It's a gorgeous lake. I think it's 8 miles wide, and I'm thinking 60 miles long, but that sounds too long. It's either 30 or 60. I'm sorry, my memory isn't what it used to be. Big lake. And we used to fish that lake, and they had not largemouth but smallmouth bass. And smallmouth bass do not grow as big as largemouth bass. Intuitively, with the name, that makes sense. It also happens to be true. I don't know what the all-time record for a smallmouth bass is, but a largemouth bass, last I heard, it was in Lake Fork in Texas, and it was 18.18 pounds. Smallmouth bass don't get near that big. Well, one summer, I'm with my dad. We're out in the boat fishing, and I've got myself a lure. It's a long black plastic worm with a little propeller and plastic beads. And I hooked a big one. And I wrestled that thing in. We brought it home. My dad said it's the biggest smallmouth I've ever seen in my life. It was 5¼ pounds. And after the fact, I found that the record for that year in the lake was a smallmouth bass, 4 pounds something. So technically, as far as I know, I had the record smallmouth bass in that year. And if I had to guess, oh, it had to have been probably 73, 74, something like that. Well, the wildlife theory about not coming down here to drink is, I saw one set of deer track, maybe two, that's it. And believe me, if they've come down here anytime in the past couple of months, they're gonna leave tracks. Well, I guess the rain might get rid of them, but if it was happening to any significant degree, I think we'd see signs of it. And definitely my camera would have caught some. Now, that said, about a month ago with my binoculars early in the morning, I saw a herd of what appeared to be elk on the other side of the lake, actually right near town on that side. But nothing on this side of the lake. You'd think it would be the opposite, wouldn't you? I'm gonna tilt this down, just wanted to make sure I'm still recording, because there's nothing like recording a YouTube video, going to a lot of effort, and you get home to edit and find out, well, it wasn't recording. It wasn't picking up anything. And that's kind of disappointing. Well, we're well past the point where we went last time. And I think what that fellow was talking about, that point straight ahead, I think that's the last stretch there to the dam, and that's where it probably gets almost impassable from a practical standpoint, especially with a little dog with short legs. Right, Dottie? Are you a little dog with short legs? I'm starting to sink in the mud a little bit. Let's come up here, Dottie, to drier land, so I don't have to work so quite as hard to walk. Good girl. Well, when we get going back the other way to that spring, you can get a good healthy drink of nice fresh spring water. And Dottie, I don't know if you noticed, but up here on the corner, I see a bunch of birds. I'm a little less worried about Dottie than I'm normally am, because I've been pretty disciplined with her portions of food, and she's in good shape. I don't think she doesn't look overweight at all to me anymore. Well, I'm gonna bet pretty soon those birds are gonna see Dottie and they're gonna take off. Or attack us. Who knows? Who knows what might happen? Come on, let's head up a little higher, Dottie. It's getting soft again. A little higher. She doesn't sink at all. But heavier Rob does. Now, it could have a little problem if they're guarding a nest up here, but I don't think it's nesting time, I don't think. Well, I do see what looks like juveniles. So we just need to be, I think, pretty cautious as we walk up on them because they don't seem to be too startled by us approaching. Now it looks like maybe they're all headed slowly towards the water, seeing us approach. So that's a good sign. It's also nice that they don't seem startled by it. That they're used to the occasional walker, maybe with the dog coming by. So they know it's not a serious danger, but they stay alive by being cautious. Right, Dottie? It's another abandoned building up here through the trees. Not quite sure what that is. I think it's abandoned. Kind of hard to tell from here. Could be somebody's house, heck. Yeah, they all quietly got in the lake. Yeah, that looks like somebody's house. Does not look abandoned. Oh, there's another group of birds up here in the water. Dottie, are you going after the birds or you want a drink? Okay, come on. They didn't like that too much, but I thought maybe she was going for a drink. Come on. They're fussing a little at us, aren't they, Dottie? Yeah, they're not happy with us, Dottie Dot. The sound's beginning to remind me of the Alfred Hitchcock movie, The Birds. The birds. The birds are coming. That's my dad used to imitate the promo for that movie when I was a kid. The birds are coming. Yeah, that's definitely someone's home there. There's nothing abandoned about that. It looks very nice. Close to the shore, a beautiful view of the lake. To the right there, though, if you look in the woods, there's a dilapidated, broken down, very old structure. but certainly not that. That's a, a nice looking home there. Now, what I'm thinking is the worst case, we get around this corner here and it's not passable based on what that guy said, but I think I'll get a nice shot at least down to the where the dam happens. And it's starting to get a lot more rocky. But I suspect Dottie's going to have an easier time than I navigating the rocky terrain. Right, Dottie? Come on, Dottie. Lots of smells out here for you. Distances are a little deceiving here for me because it looked like this corner was really close, but it's a lot further than I thought. Get a little bit more water sounds here. I'm sure you can hear that in the background. Right, Dottie? I'm not seeing a ton of the scenery because I'm having to keep my eye on my feet so I don't trip over a rock, twist my ankle. We're getting real close to the corner, Dottie. It's funny, the view is liable to be anticlimactic because generally the dramatic views of a dam are not on the lakeside. They're on the other side. And there's no way to get to it without breaking the law. So that's not an option. You doing okay? She may not like the taste of the water. I think she took one lick down by the geese because there's a lot of algae. It probably doesn't taste very good and probably isn't good for her, but that spring water coming down from where the old Eagle Nest Lodge is I'm sure real good water. Except for the asbestos problem at the lodge. Hopefully it hasn't seeped in substantially to the end of the groundwater into that spring, which is, I guess that's possible, isn't it? Come on, Dottie. Keep going. We're almost at the corner. Now, what I'm seeing here pretty clearly, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, to me it's a pretty obvious trail right here. Hopefully that continues. I wish you could see Dottie, but she's behind me instead of walking in front of me. Only because she has to stop and sniff stuff. Come on. You want to go? You want to? We'll get, when we can see the home stretch, we'll sit down and have a little rest, Dottie. How's that sound? Because I think she's getting a little tuckered out. That's what I was afraid of. Oh, here comes somebody that went all the way down to the dam. Just a little further, Dottie, and then we'll have a seat for a little while. Well, I think I see the spot that we're not going to be able to navigate. This is what the guy was talking about. Said you might be able to scramble over those rocks, but not your little dog. He didn't say that, but that's what he meant. And he would have been right. Yeah, guys, I'm afraid we're at the end of the line here. And I'm not sure I'd try that on my own. It's just too steep and too dangerous. Well, should we rest a little bit, Dottie? Should we rest a little bit? There's water down there. You want to get some water? Want to go get some water? Well, guys, here I am. We're at a little resting spot, and this is as far as we can go. I'll show you a little bit more why here. You go around, it's right around that corner there, but you see how steep the rocks are. Dottie's going down. There you can see Dottie going down to get something to drink. There you go, good girl. She was getting kind of tired, but it's beautiful here. Look at this. And I wish I could show you right. I mean, we're probably a couple hundred yards away from the dam, but we just can't see it from here without taking, even if Dottie wasn't with me, I'm not going to climb. I wouldn't climb over those rocks. All it would take is a slip and a fall, hitting my head, falling in the water, and those would be the end of my nomad days. But anyway, here, let me Let me take my glasses off. I just hate it when people talk to me on YouTube and they got their sunglasses on. You can't see their eyes. But I hope you enjoyed coming along with Dottie and I on this adventure, even though it didn't have the outcome we were looking for. I think it was still kind of interesting. Valiant effort. So we're going to sit here for a little while longer, and then we're going to head back. And there's everyone's favorite dog, Dottie Dog. Let's see if we can zoom in. Can we zoom in on you, Dottie? There we go. And how about taking off that wide angle lens? We could really zoom in. What do you say, Dottie? Are you a good girl? Are you going to rest a little while before we go back? Yeah, she's panting pretty good. So let's rest. She got water in her, so now she just needs rest. And Dottie and I are both real grateful for you coming out here and seeing us. And Dottie's, the wide angle lens fell off, and Dottie is almost stepping on it. So I got to go. Grateful for you. Thank you. Another angle look on the walk back. It's pretty gorgeous. This is dam is behind me. Eagle nest in front of me. Straight across there is the Eagle Nest State Park. The village is in that direction. Dottie's doing just fine. We're just about out of the rocks. Come on, Dot. Quit sniffing. Let's go. No, you can't have that. You can pee though. That's good. Okay, come on. There are a few little dead animals that Dottie can't seem to resist. But now we're past the rocks, the open beach. Around this corner is the old Eagle Nest Lodge and this natural spring. And Dottie's had a couple of drinks from the lake, and she's not a big fan of the lake water, but I think she likes the spring water. I'll turn it back on when we get to the spring. Yeah, we're getting close to the spring. You can see the Eagle Nest Lodge up there. All the traffic going by in the back. I think if you squint, because it's probably pretty small on your screen. But the spring water's up here. And we're pretty close to the car, actually. We're almost there, Dottie. It's right up here. Here we go. Right there is a spring coming out of the ground. You had enough? More over here. I don't like the red looking stuff. Right there. Well, She must not be that thirsty. Well, you know, as I came down here, I wondered, why would somebody pile rocks like that right there? And as I arrive here, I realize that's the trail marker. That's where the trail is, and here it is. Because it's tough to spot. And we are almost back. Bushwhack our way through here, Dottie. You know, I'm a little out of breath, and I'm thinking about YouTubers like Wonder Hussey and Nikki Deventhal, and they would chuckle at me being out of breath, and they'd say, "You wouldn't make it across the parking lot on one of my hikes," and they'd probably be right. They'd probably be right. It's hard. Here's my excuse. Fair warning, excuse coming. My hip arthritis really makes it hard. And I'm looking forward to getting back to Pahrump to get going with my chiropractor again, so I can do these things without being in pain. Then eventually I'll need a hip replacement. Then hopefully things will be great. I've heard a lot of good things about hip replacements. A lot of good outcomes. My stepmother was not one of them. They screwed hers up and had to redo it. What a nightmare. Here, I gotta climb Mount Everest. We're almost there, Dottie. You can see the little hut, the vault toilet where the cars park. The distance there, not far. I can see the car. So, not much interesting between here and there, so I'll shut her off. Well, at some point you're probably saying, there he goes again. He ended the video, then he kept going. I did, because I felt like it. So this is going to be the second and hopefully the last sign off. I'm grateful for you watching my stuff. And I got to get back because Dottie's got to cool down, don't you, Dottie? You want to see what Dottie? See Dottie? There's Dottie dog, panting away. And we're 2 minutes from home, so we'll get her more water and get in, maybe turn on some AC like we have right now in here, and she'll be just fine. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye.